Okay, good morning everybody and welcome to day 13, and today is balance. And what we're looking for in yoga, according to the Yoga Sutras, is to cultivate an equanimous mind, which just means a calm and balanced mind. And that's very easy in life when things are good, but it's more difficult to cultivate that kind of sense of mental calmness and composure when we're more challenged by our day-to-day lives or our yoga mat. So we're going to start with Samavriti, which is a pranayama breathing, which is all about balanced breath, and we've probably done it a few times already. So if we just sit nice and tall, lengthen through our spine, elevate through the crown of our head, roll the shoulders back and down, and just placing our hands on our knees. You can take a mudra if you like, and we're just going to take a moment to come inside ourselves, starting by tuning into the breath, inhaling and exhaling through the nose. Just essentially slowing everything down. We're just going to start on our next inhale by inhaling for 4 counts. So inhale 4, 3, 2, 1, and exhale 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale 4, 3, 2, 1. Just continuing for a couple of rounds at your own pace. And just finish the round that you're on. And then just allow your breath to return to its natural rhythm. So let's make our way to tabletop. Hands and knees. So spreading our fingers wide. Wrists under shoulders, knees under hips, back flat, gazing ahead, belly button pulled in. And we'll start with our round of cat and cows. So inhale, drop your belly. And exhale, round your back. And again, inhale, drop your belly. Chest comes forward, gaze goes up. Exhale, rounding, tailbone down. And again. So just warming up through our spine. Finding a nice calming and balancing movements. And again, just finish the one that you're on, back's flat. Now here we're going to take an active child's pose. So tuck your toes, leave your knees where they are, and just press your hips back to your heels and walk your arms out here. Just allow everything to soften. So a nice, relaxing, calming child's pose. And then just pushing back up to tabletop. So from here, tuck your toes, hover your knees, find your first downward facing dog. So fingers are spread wide, pressing the fingertips to the floor. We'll just take a moment to walk our dog. So bending through one knee, pushing one heel towards the floor. Just swapping it over. So curling the tailbone to the sky so we find length through our spine and stretching out through the whole back legs of our body. And then just find stillness here. Pull your belly buttons in, chest to thighs. And we're going to take a really nice, gentle, balancing flow here. So, take an inhale. And as you exhale, just drop your knees to the floor, keeping your toes tucked. And then from here, you're going to inhale, drop your belly, find cow. Chest comes through, gaze goes up. And then exhale, push back to child's pose. And then inhale, tabletop. Exhale, downward facing dog. And again, take an inhale. Exhale, drop your knees. Inhale, drop your belly. Exhale, push back, child's pose. We're going to do this 2 more times. So find your tabletop, downward facing dog. Inhale. Exhale, drop your knees. Inhale, drop your belly. Exhale, child's pose. Tabletop, downward facing dog. And again, take the inhale. Exhale, drop your knees. Inhale, drop your belly. Exhale, child's pose. Just take a couple of breaths here. So pulling the breath all the way down into your belly. And long, deep, slow breaths, calming and balancing our minds. And then let's go back to tabletop, back to downward facing dog. And from here, inhale, curl your tailbone. Exhale, take yourself to the top of the mat. And just fold here. The legs are nice and soft. Head is heavy. Spine is decompressing. And then very slowly, you're just going to uncurl 1 vertebra at a time until you come to standing. So standing tall at the top of your mat, feet pressed to ground, kneecaps lifting, tailbone drawing down, shoulders round and back, palms facing forward, strong and active with your fingers. Just close your eyes. We're just going to play with your balance a little bit. So with your eyes closed, just start to lean forward and see how that feels. What does it feel like to be slightly out of balance? And then maybe taking it over to the right side. And then taking it behind you. So you might find that your feet start to lift, your toes start to lift, your back might arch. Or you might find something else. You might find that you feel a bit nervous about being out of balance. And then just come and find that lovely center, sweet spot where you can find your balance again. Okay, and open your eyes. Inhale your hands to the top, lace your fingers, turn your palms upside down, reaching away from your ears and then come up onto your toes. On the ball of your feet, maybe engaging your core. And what happens if you close your eyes here? And release the heels, release the hands, fold all the way down, ground to floor. And find a half lift, look forward. Exhale, fold. Bend your knees, sweep your arms back to the top. Lace your fingers, turn your palms upside down, reach your hands away, come up on the balls of your feet. Okay. Maybe just taking a little side bend over to the right. Keeping up on the balls of your feet. Don't worry if you wobble. And back to center, taking over to the left. Lovely. And back to center. And release the hands. Okay. So pressing down for your feet, inhale, sweep your arms up, find your chair pose, turn your pinky fingers in, look up. You should be able to look down at your feet and see your big toes. And exhale, folding all the way down, crown of the head to the floor. Inhale, find your flat back. Exhale, hands to floor, step back to downward facing dog. On your inhale, lift your right leg, find your three-legged dog, keep your hips square. That means pressing your toes towards the floor. And then you're going to step that right leg through, your hand to the front of the mat, or drag it there and find a high lunge. So that means coming up on the ball of the back foot. So get your feet placement first, pressing down before you lift up. So bending in through that front knee, energy coming through the ball of the back foot. You can take your gaze up if you want. And again, what happens if you close your eyes? Close your eyes, let's take 3 breaths here. If it's too much, keep your eyes open. And release your hands to frame your front foot, step back to downward facing dog. Inhale, lift your left leg, three-legged dog, toes pointing to the floor. Step your left foot through, find your foot placement, remember they're on train tracks, pressing down for the back ball, lift up. And again, if you want to try closing your eyes here, we'll take 3 breaths. And releasing the hands to the mat, step back to downward facing dog. Strong through the arms. Bend your knees, look towards your hand and make your way to the front of the mat. Halfway lift, drawing that heart forward. Exhale, fold. And then find your chair. Weight is on your heels. Press the thighs together and straighten your legs. And again, inhale, chair. Pinky fingers in. You can get a little bit lower. Exhale, fold. Inhale, find your flat back. Exhale, hands to mat, step back to downward facing dog. You're going to add on to that. Inhale, three-legged dog, lifting your right leg. Exhale, leg comes through. Find your high lunge. Lovely. Bringing your hands to your heart center, pressing the palms together. We're going to step forward, placing our weight through our right leg and find our warrior 3. So flex through that back left leg, hinging from the hips, lengthening through the spine, pressing the palms together and being strong through the foundation leg. Hold and breathe. From here, we're going to step our left foot back, turning the foot parallel to the short edge of the mat and finding warrior 2. So you may have to adjust your foot pattern a little bit. Front heel intersects back arch. Bend into that knee. Find more length through the arms. And then you're going to straighten that front leg. And we're almost in triangle, about to be in triangle position. You might move that back foot in a slight bit. Bump your left hip forward. Keep reaching, reaching, reaching until you can reach no further. And then you place that right hand on the inside of that leg. Stacking one arm on top of the other. Your gaze can be at the floor. It can be ahead of you. And it could be at your hand in the sky. Now, if you're looking at the hand, you need to find your center to keep your balance. And just breathe here. Now, what happens to our mind when we challenge ourselves? So we're going to see if we can stay equanimous and calm in the face of our next pose. This is for you, Amanda. So can we take our left hand to our hip, take our gaze to the floor, start to bend into that front right leg. We're going to reach our right hand ahead of us as we bring our left foot in a little bit and start to transfer the weight onto the right leg. And then that left leg begins to leave the floor. You can keep the hand on the hip if you want to, and start to spiral your chest to the side of the room. Eventually, if you have it in you this morning, you can lift your left arm. Keep flexing through the left foot. Hold and breathe. Okay, if you've lifted the arm, left hand to waist, bend your front leg, find the floor with your back leg, warrior two. Now, I wasn't looking at you, so I've got no idea what that looked like. I might look on the other side. Okay, so windmill your hands to the floor, framing the front leg. Step back to downward facing dog. Just take a couple of breaths here. Of course, there's always blocks as well. Okay, inhale, lift your left leg, three-legged dog. Stepping that left foot through, sweeping up, find your high lunge. So pressing down on the ball of your right foot. Arms are reached, gaze goes up. Hips are squared. Okay, so bringing your hands to your heart center, squeezing them together. Start to transfer your weight over into your front left leg as you take flight. Holding and breathing. Finding your drishti, the point of focus for your eyes. And then bending in the front leg, find the floor of your back leg, turn the right foot parallel with the short edge of the mat as you open out into warrior two. Again, so front heel intersects with back arch, rotation in that front left thigh, so pointing the knee over the middle toes and reach along with your arms. Okay, straightening that front leg. And we're going to start to lean again. If you want to bring your back leg in an inch or two, that's fine. Start to lean forward as your right hip comes back. Keep leaning, leaning, leaning until you can lean no further. And then bring that left hand on the inside of that leg. Or of course you can find a block. Spiraling the chest. Lifting the right arm higher, spreading the fingers. And from here, take your right hand to your waist. Take your gaze to the floor. Start to bend into that front left leg, taking the weight into it as you bring the right leg back. Left arm comes out in front of you. Start to take flight. Now, it might be that that's enough and you can just stay here. Or you can start to rotate your chest. And maybe you start to lift your arm to the sky. Have a little look at you. Holding and breathing, finding your composure, your balanced, calm mind. And from here, hand to waist, bend the left leg, step the right leg back, warrior two, bending into that front leg. Windmill your hands, frame the front foot, step back to downward facing dog, and take 3 breaths here. Maybe breathing in through your nose, and let's just sigh it out through your mouth. And again, in through your nose, and out through your mouth. One more. And then just drop your knees to the mat. And coming to a nice seated position, let's have a little wide-legged fold. So sitting tall, flexing through the toes. And again, that might be enough, so lengthen through your spine. For some of you, you might just put your hands behind you, press your fingertips into the floor, and you might feel a stretch that's enough. Or otherwise, you can have your hands in front, inhale, lift your chest, and exhale, start to walk your hands down. So again, it's not really about getting our head to the floor, it's about lengthening our spine. So you can use your hands on the floor to stretch out the spine, tuck your chin a little bit. And let's slow and deepen our breath here. So with every inhale, we find length through our spine. And with every exhale, we just soften a little bit more. And then we gently walk our hands back up. Okay, so if you bring your legs together, bend your right leg, take it over the left, sit nice and tall. Left arm comes around the right. You may or may not be able to hook it, it doesn't matter, you can just hold it, but make sure that you're pressing the right foot into the floor, lift, and then just take a little twist, looking over that right shoulder. So just lifting out through the crown of your head so that your spine stays lovely and long. And then just gently exhaling and turning back to the front. So extending that right leg back out. Let's swap it over. So bend your left leg in and then just take it over the right. Press the big toe to the floor. Try and keep it grounded if you can. So one hand to the floor. Right arm this time. Bring it around that left leg. Pull it in as close to your chest as you can get it. And then just exhale to twist. And then gently back to the front. Okay, everybody, it's time to find your comfortable seated positions. So wherever you can sit for a few minutes. Okay, so again, sit nice and tall, take any rounding out of your back, bringing your hands to your knees or finding a mudra, and then just closing your eyes. You're starting with a few deep breaths. In through your nose and out through your mouth now. So just begin to feel the weight of your body on your mat. And taking a little bit of time just to settle into the different physical sensations. Noticing any sounds around you. And if you haven't already done so, just checking in with your body. So whether there's a sense of balance or imbalance in the body right now as you scan down from head to toe. Noticing any areas which feel balanced or the areas that feel tight and tense. And at the same time, just getting a general sense of the mood and that the mind is in right now. And so we're going to do a visualization. But just remember how to create a sense, when you create a sense of balance, it won't only affect your mind and your experience, but your relationship with the people around you. So bringing your attention back to your body, back to the rising and falling sensation of the breath. Noticing where in the body you're feeling the rhythm of the breath and resting the attention of the mind on that sensation. And as you continue to follow the breath very lightly, I want you to imagine that above your head begins this very steady flow of sunlight. So flowing down into your body, filling the body up almost as if it were a vase. So starting at the bottom of the body, just beginning to fill your body with the flow of sunlight. So just flowing past the waist now and into the upper half of the body. And as it flows into the body, it creates a feeling of comfort and ease, resolving any tensions and leaving behind a very relaxing, balanced quality. And it continues to fill the body, working its way up towards the neck, the face, and head. And even when it gets to the top of the head, even though the entire body now might be full of this spacious light quality, even then it continues to flow. So continuing to replenish both the body and the mind. And when it's reached the top of the head now, just resting the mind in that space. You don't have to do anything. Just let the mind do whatever it wants to do. Just a sense of the mind resting in that spacious, light, warm quality. And now just bringing the attention once again back to the weight of the body, the points of contact, the sounds, any strong smells. Just we're bringing the mind back into the physical senses, back into the physical space around you. And just pause for a moment, just to be clear how you feel right now. be clear about carrying this intention, to carry this awareness with you throughout today. And as you go through the day, remembering that becoming familiar with this sense of balance is as much about noticing the moments when your body and mind feel out of balance as it is noticing when it's balanced. So just bringing your hands to your heart center and inhaling them to the top. Last time. And bowing our heads. Namaste. I hope everybody goes about and has lovely, balanced, calm, easeful, and joyful days. See you tomorrow.